Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bublish's Lunch and Learn webinar series. I'm Kathy Mice, and I'm the founder and CEO of Bublish, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. So I'm excited to see everyone here. I'm letting everyone get settled. I see a lot of people still coming on. And before we get started, it'll give them a little time to get on a few housekeeping items. First of all, it's always very helpful for me to know if you can see the screen. If you see Bublish Accelerate Your Book Marketing Success with Bublish and you can hear me, could you type in yes to the attendee chat so I can see? Yes, Nicole, thank you. Robert, Laura, Gary, Renee, awesome. John, oh wow, okay, so great, everybody can hear me. Everybody can see the screen, so that's a great start to the webinar. Please feel free to use this chat box to ask any questions anytime during the webinar. So I am solo today. So what I'm going to do is stop throughout the presentation and just say, go ahead and ask your questions, and I'll go back through the list and make sure that I've covered everything. And of course, if I don't cover a question here, please feel free to email us afterward. On the Bublish platform, you'll find contact us anywhere on any screen, so you can always hit that and ask us more questions. Someone from support will get right back to you. So let's also remember we can tweet out any useful nuggets of information that you hear during the webinar using the hashtags book marketing and Bublish. So hashtag Bublish. I have Shyla standing by. She's going to be retweeting what you learn. So please spread the word for other authors who are looking for help with their marketing and publishing. We'd love to help them as well. So quick question before we get started. How many of you are completely new to Bublish and have just signed up to learn what Bublish is about? You don't have a free trial going, nothing. You're just here to learn. If you can tell me in the chat box, there's a couple. Fernando, welcome. Happy to answer your questions today. I've got Michelle, somebody who's signed up but hasn't done anything, new to Bublish and want to learn. Haven't used it yet. Yeah, so great. So that's my next question. How many of you are on Bublish but haven't gotten started yet? I see a lot of curious newbies, signed up, haven't used it. Yeah, some are saying I'm a veteran. Yep, I see you, Cyril. That's great. And Michelle, getting that you're new to Bublish and need information. So that's great. So I'm going to try to cover for a wide variety. We do have a lot of new features coming on board for those of you who are veterans. But for those of you who are new, I want to just dive in and start to show you what we're all about and how we can help you. So we're going to go over the ways that Bublish can help you reach your readers. We're going to take a virtual tour of Bublish. That is going to be a live demo after we get through a few slides here. And then we're going to learn how to get the most out of Bublish's features, resources, and events. And then I'm going to, like I said, answer your questions today. So we'll move through these slides quickly. Quickly about me, just so you know a little bit about my why and where I began. I have been a media and publishing industry veteran for longer than I care to share. I have worked at a number of iconic companies, CBS, Forbes, and I've also made a living as a writer, both as a freelance journalist and as a ghostwriter of business books. So I really do understand what it's like to make an income from my writing. That was freelancing was my sole profession for quite some time. So with the help of a lot of amazing people, I created Bublish to address really the tremendous changes that I saw happening in the book and media marketplace. First of all, I really wanted to empower entrepreneurial authors, or as we like to call them at Bublish, authorpreneurs. But with the rise of self-publishing, we really needed to have a more author-centric approach to marketing, and we also needed it on the service side. So I wanted to give authors the tools and the resources and the programs that they needed to be successful in what has become a highly competitive marketplace as it's grown. And with more books being purchased online now than there are in physical bookstores, I also wanted to create a more robust digital browsing experience. For me, book browsing was a form of entertainment. And then when I went online to look for books, I found it very corporate. I didn't find it personal. And with that, we started to look at like that, what I call the quiet social moment that occurs between a reader and a writer in a bookstore setting. You know, you pick up the book, you look around, and it is social. It's you and the author. And online, it's not so quiet, and it's not a connection necessarily. It's usually a connection between the retailer and the reader. So the author gets left out of that experience. But with a book bubble, it is just like it was in a bookstore. As much as we could reproduce that, that was a big goal with the book bubbles. Finally, I know the power of an author brand to sell books. There's a lot of data around that. And I wanted authors to have a way to consistently build their author brand without having to spend a fortune doing it. And everything that we build at Bublish is focused on helping you build an author brand and market as an author, not just around your books, but market as an author. So over time, our mission to empower entrepreneurial authors or authorpreneurs expanded, and the Bublish platform was born as just a marketing platform and has evolved today into the expanded world's first complete publishing platform with integrated marketing, branding, and discoverability features. So we now have tools on Bublish and programs to help authors write, promote, sell, and track their work all from one dashboard. So how can you work with us at Bublish? You can subscribe to our platform and use the do-it-yourself publishing and marketing tools that I'm going to show you today. And then if you need more help, you can partner with us on part or all of your publishing project. We have editors, designers, we have interior designers, we have conversion specialists. So anything that you need done to create your book, we have a service to help you. Indexers, translators even in some languages. And finally, if you want a true partner in publishing, you can choose us as your distributor. We are an aggregator, and we'll get you into all the channels where you need to be to meet your readers, and we'll help you work those channels to make you and your work more discoverable and sell more books. So I'll talk about that a little bit more later, but you know, there's a lot we're doing, what I call channel marketing, to make you discoverable in channels that are all different. So there's a lot to learn about distribution in addition to learning about publishing and marketing your book. Not telling you any surprises there. And I'll move through this slide quickly, but we have won a lot of prestigious international awards, mostly because of our innovative technology and our innovative approach to marketing and book publishing in the digital age. So the reason that there's a lot of attention to Bublish is because we really are addressing one of the biggest pain points in publishing, and that is making you and your work discoverable in the most crowded book and media marketplace in the history of mankind. No, I am not exaggerating. It is absolutely true. With the rise of self-publishing, the opportunity for authors to get their work out into the world has never been greater, but the competition has never been fiercer. And that's, you know, basically you've still got traditional, now you've got self-publishing. So the amount of books going in front of readers, getting into the retailers, into those channels is just mind-boggling. And what's happening is that the biggest brand authors, like the Stephen Kings of the world, really are not being terribly impacted by this monumental shift in the marketplace. You know, readers are still flocking to brand name authors that they know because they have limited time and money, and they know exactly, you know, what that author is going to deliver. So for readers, brand name authors are a safe place to invest that time and money. And when anyone can publish a book and the quality filters are minimal, you have this, you know, movement toward brand name authors. Market research shows that building an author brand is key to growing a successful publishing business, because readers are 15 times more likely to purchase a book when they recognize the author's name and brand. And at Bublish, we've created innovative and cost-effective tools and programs to help you build a dynamic author brand that does engage your target audience and helps you sell more books. So quickly, I want to take you just at a high level before we go into the live demo through some of the feature sets and the whys, but it's going to be real quick here. If anybody has any questions at this point, people are saying I have a little knowledge but need more info. Didn't know about all these services. Yeah, I'm going to show you how you can access the services from your dashboard. So let's keep going with the feature set. How do we do this? How do we make your brand more visible to your readers? So here is a look at one of the most innovative features that we have. You can actually write your book in the cloud in Bublish, and you can choose different styles. You can change the style of your book with a single click, and when you're finished, you just click a button. I'm going to show you in real time what this looks like. And you've got a distributable EPUB. So that's the format for ebooks that is most popular. But because everything we do at Bublish is about author branding, you can actually select an excerpt from your manuscript before you even publish the book, and you can create what's called a rough cut book bubbles. From Jane Leader, and I'm laughing because this is an older slide, clearly. We actually do not distribute this book. It's one of Jane's older books, but we do distribute one of her latest books called Dead Serious, which is top of the charts on Amazon right now in the area of nonfiction teen suicide. So absolutely fabulous book, getting rave reviews. You know, right there writing one of her books on Bublish. So there's really very innovative tools. Everything we build has marketing technology built into it. The next feature set is after you publish and you've just trying to share excerpts from your book, we have what is kind of a premier tool that we have in the Bublish platform. And it allows you to select any excerpt. So not your first 20% that you're going to find on the retailers. It's your choice. Anywhere in your ebook, after you've created a profile, you can select an excerpt, and then Bublish is going to ask you to add an author insight. This is the story behind your story. That's the secret sauce of a book bubble. It turns it into kind of a director's cut. All the calls to action, all the visuals, and let you create really a microsite very quickly that you can share on social media. We're going to look at some book bubbles in the wild, and we're going to see how it looks to readers that encounter it on places like Twitter and Facebook. And then you'll see the follow feature, which I'll show you, which then people can follow you on Bublish, and now they start to get branded information and book bubbles right in their inbox. I see that I'm having a little trouble with the fading in and out, maybe a bandwidth issue. We are recording this, and we will be sending out an email tomorrow with the recorded version. So if you miss anything, you can go ahead and pick that up from the recording. So sorry about that. Next, again, focused on the author, we have the ability to build as you upload more books, and you can have unlimited books with our premium accounts and unlimited bubbles. So this is an author profile that comes with our premium accounts. And you'll see that people can like the page, people can follow the author from on Twitter, or they can follow on Bublish, so they start getting emails. From the author profile, you get to see that sometimes authors write in multiple genres, that there's a link on all the book bubbles that can lead to this profile. So you can go from looking at one book bubble to seeing the whole universe, the whole constellation of books written by an author across multiple genres. And actually the author we're going to look at, his account is a nonfiction and fiction writer in multiple genres. So he's a great example. And then you can see really quickly metrics. So I'm going to show you live metrics, and it shows you where people are engaging with your book bubbles and where they're visiting after they engage with your book bubbles. Did they go to Amazon, iBooks, Barnes & Noble, Kobo? You'll be able to see that conversion that goes from browsing experience in your social stream right over to the retailer of their choice. And that's one of the nice things about Bublish, is that it is agnostic, right? It really can take the reader wherever they like to buy books. And most of the tools you have at your disposal are from the retailers, so they're retailer specific. Bublish works with all the major retailers that are online. So before I jump into some more questions, and we start the live demo, just real quickly an overview of what we do, the major benefits, and that is, we simplify the publishing process by building tools that multitask for you, like the ebook creator that also lets you not only create an ebook while you're writing, but it allows you to share rough cut book bubbles, and that's right from your manuscript. And if you start to run a pre-order campaign, you can add that button and drive pre-order sales. We also allow you to get great exposure that drives sales. And we do that not only by giving you the tools, but putting our social networks to work for you to give you massive exposure through our weekly events, like our Weekend Reader Marathon. We have Bubble of the Week. If you put @PublishMe in a tweet, you'll notice that we'll retweet you to our 23,000 followers on Bublish who follow us and follow our hashtags, Book Bubble, Sample Saturday, Sample Sunday, and you'll see your engagement go up during those events because we're putting our social followers to work for you to give you more exposure. And then we help you build your author brand, as I mentioned, which is so important because it is the only way to break through the noise, is to build an author brand. And finally, because all our tools, features, and programs are available on one dashboard, we save you time and money. You can get everything you need right inside our ecosystem to grow your publishing business. All the reporting for your sales will be right there if you distribute your books from us. So you get only the marketing metrics, but you also get the sales metrics. And Ellen's asking, I don't understand how readers get to Bublish in the first place. So I'm going to show you right now. So that's a great question to kick off I'm going to go over here. Sorry, I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to start the live demo. So this is a book bubble. And just so you know, guys, right now I can't see your questions, but keep them coming because I'm going to jump back over and I'll answer them there. This is a live book bubble that's on Bublish. And in a second, I'm going to be able to show you what they look like on Twitter and what they look like on Facebook. But real quickly, let's just look at the bubble. So bubbles are responsive design. So you create them once and they can show up beautifully on an iPad, on a Kindle, on a phone, a mobile phone, on a desktop. You don't have to worry about that. Our technology is taking care of that. You click buttons when you upload your book to Bublish, and you tell us where your book is available. We input the links right to your product page. So this doesn't go just to Amazon or Barnes & Noble or iBooks or Kobo. It goes directly to this book's product page on those sites. And that's, what makes it really easy for a reader to go from reading an excerpt and reading an author insight to your book's product page. This is the link, as I said, that would take you right to the profile. I'm going to show you Mark David's profile in a moment, but just wanted to show you again, nobody has to leave to be able to read the synopsis of the book. They can look at the author biography right here. They can go visit your website. You'll notice that probably one of the first things, if you do have a website, is that we start to drive a lot of people to that website early on. Then I want to tell you a little bit about the Author Insight. Our newsletter does a lot of writing about the power of the Author Insight, the story behind your story, sharing your creative journey. This is how you combine the power of sampling, which is really important for readers to be able to sample your work, with the power of storytelling for promotional purposes. But you never feel like a salesperson when you're just explaining how you created a scene, or explaining why you started writing, or explaining how you overcame a challenge or created a character. All of those things that go into creating a book, all of that blood, sweat, and tears, all that time, all that frustration, all those high moments and low moments, that's what you share in a book bubble. And the thing is that readers spend 2 to 3 minutes on book bubbles. Now that is an eternity in online space. They may spend on an ad 3 to 4 seconds. So you've got this captured audience that is reading your book like they did in the bookstore, that quiet social moment that you can create very quickly. And unlike blogging, where you have to kind of think of what am I going to write about, you literally just share the stories of your journey as a writer and what went into writing a scene, and you share that scene, and our technology handles everything else. Readers can then go on to share right from here. They can follow you, and if they follow you, they will start to get book bubbles. This is not one of Mark David's, but this is what a book bubble looks like when someone follows you and it goes right into their inbox, and then they can click the link, and you'll see that metric on your dashboard that they click through to read your bubble from an email that was sent to them automatically from the Bublish system. So let's take a quick look before we go to the dashboard. Let's take a quick look at what these look like in the wild and how readers find them. So we do have readers that sign up to be members of Bublish for free. They can sign up and have an account, and then they can have access to all the navigation here. They can look at genres, they can look at specific authors, they can just browse the bubble stream as bubbles are created every day. But most of people have never heard of Bublish that encounter book bubbles. So what happens is once you create a book bubble, you're going to share it to Twitter or Facebook, and then it's going to show up kind of like this book bubble by MJ Evans. And you'll see a visual, and you'll say Bublish.com, and then she's introducing it to readers. Now, as a reader, this will come through either because someone's following book bubble, or maybe I think her books are YA or middle grade. She may have hashtagged it with that, or she may hashtag it with horses. Her books are about horses, or she may have used the fantasy hashtag. So people are following hashtags. They've never heard of Bublish, and they come upon MJ's book bubble and they click. And now they go right into this micro browsing experience. So that's exactly what it looks like in the wild. That's an actual bubble that's on, and you'll see there's lots of bubbles being shared. And people can encounter them in many different ways. As hashtagging is especially powerful for that. On Facebook, again, this is our Bublish for Readers page, but if you share to your Facebook page, other people can then share it with their followers, just like they can on Twitter. And so you start to get kind of a network effect of sharing. But this is what a book bubble looks like on Facebook. And again, you just click and you go into the micro browsing experience for this book. Okay, and so then they can go right from here to any of the major online retailers, or they can go to your website, or they can go, they can follow you. And then they also are signed up for Bublish. So let's go back to Mark David's book bubble here, and we're going to look at the dashboard right away. But I just wanted you to see that I am signed in as Mark David, so I'm seeing this as an author would. And at the top, there are, you can go to our blog, you can go to FAQs and tutorials. If you go to my account, you can upgrade, downgrade, all of those things, change information about your account. And if you need author services, you just click here and it'll take you to our author services portal. But let's go to Mark David's dashboard and take a look at his metrics. So it's just giving us that. So Mark David is managing a lot of books from his dashboard. I'm just scrolling down. Hopefully you can see this. Gosh, a lot of books, and you'll see that he's got sci-fi fantasy, He's got religion and spirituality. He's got a biography memoir. He's got a self-help book, several of them, and business and investing, and then literature and fiction. So right here at the top, it's going to show you all of the different genres that he writes in. He can edit his profile from here, so change his picture, change his bio, all of the information that travels with the bubbles about him. He can upload an existing book in the EPUB format, so that's how you get started. You start your profile. I'll actually show you what his profile looks like. And so the password preferences in his account, he can change his bio, he can change his picture, talks about, that he's a multi-book author. Preferences account, let's just go back to his dashboard, but very easy to update things like that. He's got his Twitter handle in there. Then for uploading a book, again, upload an existing book. So that's a book that's already been published. Most of the books on here were uploaded into Bublish, but you can also start writing a new book. So I'm going to show you that in a minute because I don't want to do that on this account. But at any time he could upload a new book, and then he'd put in the synopsis, the ISBN, some keywords, all of that metadata, as it's called, will travel with the book bubbles. So book bubbles are great social content that will help you build strong discoverability in search engines like Google. So they multitask for you. They're social content for readers. They are also strong ways to build visibility in search engines around your content, and all the metadata that you put in, including your genre, goes with it. And you can share your profile with a single click as well. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like to a visitor. That was Mark David's view, and this is what a visitor would see if you shared your profile on Twitter or Facebook. So they would see all of the books and the ability to buy them with all of the bubbles that they could explore from each of the books. So it's a very robust, and it grows as you grow with us at Bublish. And then you can see also, you can follow him, like him, follow him on Bublish. There's that contact us if you ever need help. That's on every page of Bublish. So let's go back to, and I think Shyla's going to check on Twitter. If anyone's sharing stuff on Twitter, she'll start retweeting that. So let's take a look at his metrics. So these are the last 90 days. I'm going to say one thing. It's a funny thing that happens on the first 90 days. People are on Bublish, and things are going up and up. And then sometimes there's a little drop off. That's because it's taking the last 90 days. You can look at your full history. You can look at 7 days, 2 weeks, 30 days, or your full history. That for some people can take a long time to load. So we kind of keep it at the 90-day mark. And you see the high level there, 9,027 in the last 90 days. A lot of it on Bublish, but he's big on Twitter. He does share on Facebook, but he's clearly a Twitter guy. And he's getting bumps on some days, probably sharing more. We're probably having an event on some of those days. Then he shares his profile, but he shares that a lot less. So mostly that's views on Bublish after people have clicked through. And then let's look at his conversions. So he has a nice conversion rate of about 14%. Now, a conversion is not necessarily a purchase. We do not, for authors like Mark David that do not distribute with us yet, we'll see, we can't see the shopping cart at Amazon. When you distribute with Bublish, you can actually see the correlation a little bit more because you get 2 more buttons that show you your sales, your ebook sales, and your print sales across multiple retailers. So all the retailers that are listed here that we deal with, we do not actually distribute to Smashwords. They're a competitor, so we're kind of phasing that out. But we do distribute to all of these places, plus Google+, plus Ingram, plus Create Space for print. We distribute Create Space and Ingram. And you'll see that he's getting a fair amount. I'm going to guess this was a weekend event where he got a lot of conversions, busier day there, a little bit here today. So it's actual real-time data about who's engaging with your content, where they're engaging, Twitter, Facebook, or on Bublish, and where they're going afterward. So real quickly, before I jump over to the next phase, just throw those questions in there. I'm on live now, so I can't see. I'm not in the platform. I can't see your questions right now. So just pop any questions you have about the dashboard right into the chat box. And when I come back over, I will answer them. I'm going to show you now, if you were to start writing a book, I'm going to take you over to a book in development to show you the book writing tool. This is just sitting on an inactive account as an example of what it looks like. So you would start writing a new book. It would ask you some information, and then you would be in this next view that I'm going to show you. So this is the ebook writing tool. And as you can see, there's a lot of content in here. There is a table of contents that has been built for this book as it's been produced. So we can go to any of these chapters where there's content and we can look at them. And over here, you can see that there is a layout. Well, we have 3 right now versions of the book that you can just click and it'll change the complete style of the book. And then over here, you can type in content and it'll start typing for you. And you'll see that it's laying it out on the right side of the screen. And if you need to bold something, you can bold it. If you need to italicize it, you can italicize it. If you need to underline it, you can underline it. If you need to add a picture, you can do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't have one pulled up, but you can add an image right there. So let me just delete this and then I'll save it. Nope, I forgot to delete that. Then over here, we can go ahead and do, we can create a book bubble. I will show you how book bubbles are created in a moment. This is one that would create a rough cut book bubble because the book is still in development. So you would go through the same process that I'm going to show you momentarily on creating a book bubble as you would if the book were published, but you just do it from the laid out part of the book. And I'll show you that in a moment, but I just wanted to show you what this looks like and then go back to the dashboard and real quickly show you how to download a book that's been written on Bublish. So you basically are going to export the book as an EPUB. So let's do it as a Word document first. So say you're writing and you need an editor. So you just want to export it as a Word document, and in 1 second you'll be able to see, I didn't have it to open, there's the book, right? And the entire book is in the Word format now. But more importantly, when you're done, sorry, putting off an update there, you'll be able to export it as an EPUB. And this is truly amazing technology. So now I've got an EPUB. I finished writing. I go back to my dashboard. I say export the book as an EPUB, and it's going to open in iBooks. And there it is. It's got an interactive EPUB table of contents where you can navigate through all the pages. It's all in layout, and that is all part of our premium service. So let me just show you back on Mark David's how to create a book bubble, but that's how to create an ebook on Bublish. It's that simple. You can, if you prefer to write, say in Word, you can go ahead and just copy and paste, and you got to do a quick check of your styling. But for simple, straightforward fiction, it's very, very powerful. It's a little bit more limited for people who are doing picture books. That's not as strong. That's not really what it's designed for. We hope to get more robust in that area going forward. But if you're writing fiction, and there's about 1,000 books being written on Bublish as we speak. So that's how to create an ebook. And now I'm going to show you how to create a book bubble. And one of the things about creating a book bubble is, just like I showed you, if you're in the ebook creator, you can create a rough cut book bubble and start engaging your audience. It'll look just like it did when I showed you the books on Twitter. It'll just say rough cut book bubble. And instead of a buy link, there'll be either no buy links there, or there'll be a pre-order link. And this is how easy it is from either interface. So you just go in. I'm just going to go into, let's see, transformation here. Excuse me, that's showing me something I don't need to see. And I'm going to do an excerpt of some sort. Then I'm going to submit the excerpt. And then I'm going to title it. So this is my title. And then I'm going to share the story behind my story. So that's your author insight right there. And then you're going to preview it, and it'll start to show you what the book bubble is going to look like. You make sure your excerpt's okay. You're happy with your author insight. If you're not, you go back and you edit. Got your bio, everything there. I'm not going to publish this, but you publish it by either sharing it to Facebook or Twitter, or emailing it to yourself. We do recommend occasionally Facebook hiccups, and there's a lot of changes going on at Facebook right now. So we recommend either sharing it to Twitter first. It does have to be published before you can start sharing a link. But the best way, the safest way, is just email the bubble to yourself. It will then become part of the bubble stream. It will have a published link. And then after that, you'll be able to share the link, which I'll show you how to do in a moment, anywhere you want. Mark David, for example, is big at sharing on Google+, because I think he gets great search engine optimization there, because Google favors that content. And you can take your links anywhere and share them. But we do have interfaces with Facebook and Twitter to make it really easy. I'm not going to publish this, so you can do that. You can sit down on a Sunday and write 10 bubbles from 10 books and publish them later. But let's see what happens when I don't publish it. It should be right on the dashboard in a moment. And there it is, not yet published, my exciting title, the story behind my story. If I want to publish it, I go back and it'll show me the same screen we were just on. Same thing with edit, and then you can go back through the bubble creation process to edit. I'm going to delete this because I am not Mark David. And then it's going to delete. But you can see here, once a bubble is published, you can share it multiple times because it is evergreen content. So that's the nice thing. He's got content from all of these books, and he's a master at constantly scheduling them across different channels in a nice ongoing fashion to give samples to readers from a wide variety of books. And so it's all sitting here, and you can reshare this from your dashboard at any time. All right, guys, so I am going to go back over to Bublish, and I'm going to reshare the master video here. This is where we were, and I'm going to take some of your questions now. So give me 1 second. Okay, so let me go through here. Oh, I showed Joel's book. Yes, that's great. Showed your book. Let me get to the top here. Okay, Ellen, hopefully I showed you with Twitter and Facebook how readers can get to the book bubbles. I'm in Canada. Are there any restrictions for Canadians? Not that I know of. We do help authors publish directly to Kobo, which is based in Canada. Um, if you publish to Kobo and you don't distribute with us, all you do need to do is click the Kobo link, and that will give readers in Canada. We do actually have a lot of authors in Canada who use Bublish. So even if you're not distributing with us, you'll just be asked to click a button that says Kobo is one of your retailers where you distribute your books, and then readers anywhere in the world who prefer to buy their books from Kobo can go directly to your book's product page on Kobo. Are there any optimal lengths for author insights and for the book excerpt? Great question, Gary. So I would say to you that you can't excerpt more than a chapter, but the best book bubbles in my experience and what we see from the data is sharing something that's complete. Don't go too short. You don't have to go too long, but share a complete piece of dialogue, a complete scene. And then remember, you're writing an author insight to that scene. So make sure there's context there. So you can also choose some kind of a cliffhanger or something that leaves the reader guessing to entice them to want to read more. They can bop right over to your product page and go to that look inside feature on your books, on the retail page. Author insights are limited to 250 words. That's really a constraint of the design of the platform. So you're going to have to treat it like maybe like a Facebook post length. And the key is to really make it engaging and tie it contextually to what you're sharing. And there's lots of great examples of powerful book bubbles. And if you follow us on Twitter, you'll see the bubble of the week. We select those based on a great use of the platform. So you'll see some great examples of book bubbles. And you can browse the bubble stream and see what authors are doing. But to me, the best book bubbles are the ones that really share your story rather than just introduce the scene. So you can say a little bit about the introduction to the scene, but tell us your why. Why did you craft that scene? Was it hard to craft? What went into it? How many bubbles do you recommend is Cindy's question. Do we get charged per bubble? No, it is a flat subscription rate, $9.99 a month or $99 a year for everything you saw here today. And you can add unlimited books and unlimited bubbles for that fee. I actually have a discount code. So if you're in a free trial and you upgrade before the end of the month, you can use this and you can get a whole first year of Bublish for $79. And if you're not in a free trial, just bop over to Bublish.com and start your free trial today. We don't even take your credit card, so you can just play around with all the features that we showed you today, the ebook creator. You can upload a book and start sharing book bubbles and be part of our weekend reader event this weekend and see, your metrics start kicking in before you need to even use the code. Here's another question. Does Bublish take a percentage when readers find and buy your books from the Bublish site? No, we do not take a percentage unless we are distributing your book, and our distribution model is off your sales, not off your bubble views. So off of actual sales, 15% off your net royalties. Patty, I understand this is mainly for indie authors, but what about authors who have publishers? Patty, great question. Actually, we have a ton of publishers, publicists, and traditionally published authors who use the platform because it is powerful. So we've actually had publishers say to their authors, use Bublish. There's a long story I won't tell you, but that's how we got into distribution. We found out a number of authors from one publisher that actually folded were on our platform. We had no idea the publisher had promoted Bublish as a great marketing tool, but we do have a large number of traditionally published authors who use the tool. So as long as you can get your ebook and you're allowed to excerpt from your book and you have that right in your contract with your publisher, you can use Bublish. What is your reach and demographics? So it depends on your book, and it also depends. You'll see the metrics on Bublish, so you'll actually see the reach that you're getting and the sales that you're driving right on your dashboard. Because every book is different on Bublish, the demographics are different. We do a lot of teaching about how to get in front of your target audience, hashtags being one way on social media. When we work with you we distribute your books, our reach gets bigger. It's one of the reasons we expanded, because we did find in some cases that we could drive a lot of thousands of people to a book's product page. But if that page wasn't optimized, then the conversions weren't that strong. So when we distribute, we're able to help the author with those pages, with cover design, with making sure the look inside feature matches reader expectation, with the metadata, all 1,001 things that go into all the different places along the way where readers check you out and can either bounce or buy. So it's really very specific to the book. HT downloaded a bubble for a book not written. Yes, you can. I'm not sure, Cindy, I understand what HT is, but if you write the question again, I'll try to answer it. But the book does not have to be written on Bublish or use our ebook creator in order to upload your book and create book bubbles. And remember, no one can see your book. They can't read your book in its entirety on Bublish. That is completely on your dashboard and secure to you. They only see the excerpts and bubbles that you share. Michelle says, this is amazing. I'm so excited to start using all these features. Well, thank you, Michelle. I'm glad you like it. Do we have anyone who does manuscript editing? Yes, we have developmental editors, we have line editors, we have copy editors, we have proofreaders. So pretty much any service you need, we've got. Is there any extra cost to create the EPUB file? No, it's completely included for free. And what's nice is when you download that ebook file and you just look at it, if you have iBooks or some other reader on your desktop, you can actually just go ahead and download it 10 times to make sure you like how it looks on different readers. So it's just going to download an EPUB file to your desktop, and then you're going to need to open it in the different readers to check it out. And we have many authors who just write their book on Bublish. You can go short, you can go long, you can use it for promotional purposes, or you can distribute it yourself. The file is yours, and once it's on your dashboard, it's now off of Bublish. It remains on Bublish if you want it to, but it's yours to keep and use as you'd like. Can bubbles be reused? Yes. I would not say, constantly share the same bubble over and over, but you can definitely, as you create more bubbles and you add more books and you have this collection, this library of evergreen content, you can create a nice flow of these samples and share them. You can even use the same excerpt and create different stories around it. And it is great content and it can be shared. Someone had asked how many book bubbles should I create? We encourage you, if you have one book, to create at least one bubble a week, because then you get all the benefits of our events, which are weekly showcases of the newest bubbles. And you will see a major uptick in the number of people looking at your bubbles on Saturday and Sunday as a result of those events. Also the retweets, if you're sharing a bubble, we're going to retweet it if you share it to Twitter. We'll also keep an eye out on Facebook. We put the weekend reader event bubbles on Facebook now on our Bublish for Readers page. So you'll be able to see it there as well. And you'll notice a big uptick. So if you create a bubble a week, it's going to be really optimal for all of what Bublish has to offer, which is these programs in addition to the technology. And that's how we help you grow a following. And we literally hand write, not me, but Nick, who does a great job with it, hand writes the little teasers for the bubble for the weekend event, hashtags them according to their genre. So watch for those, because you're going to learn about the hashtags that work. And we share them on Saturday, then we share them again on Sunday. Then on Monday, we put them in the Bublish floating bookstore. Everyone who's included gets it, and they can share it with their network. And again, we get this kind of collective network effect around your work. So we're going to put a lot of eyes on your work. I think Grace Allison is one of the people. There's a few other people who have had, 50,000, 100,000 views of their work, some before they've even published. So it's impressive once you've been here for a while. If you have many books also, just let me say you can have up to a book bubble from up to 3 books included. It's getting pretty crowded on the weekends, so we have to, maintain a kind of limit. But if you have more than one book, start creating a book bubble a week from multiple. Share them, maybe on a Tuesday, one book, on a Wednesday, the next book, on a Thursday, the next book. So you're always sharing lots of book bubbles from all your books. Rebecca says, I'm not a techie. Do you supply mentors to set up? I promise you, I am not a techie either. My children laugh when they say mom is running a technology platform. I'm a writer, right, by training. It was designed to be really simple for you to set up, but if you have any trouble, just click, the contact us and support will get back to you and help you through. Sometimes there are problems with the ebooks because they were created outside of our system and there's a compatibility issue. We will try our best to take care of that. We do have translators, Rebecca. We actually do have a few translators in Spanish that we work with, very high level. Not an inexpensive undertaking, I will tell you, but they are available. Nicole says, does a bubble stay in the bubble stream indefinitely, or how long does it stay? What about the weekend events? Are they existing bubbles in that? So again, the weekend events there's 2 things that are weekly. Bubble of the week is chosen and showcased on Tuesdays, and it comes from the previous week. And the weekend reader events are the bubbles that are created that week, and they're showcased on the Saturday and Sunday and Monday events. Bubbles do not go away. They are there indefinitely unless you delete one. So that's they're always there, so your collection of bubbles is always growing. Does this work even if you use a pen name? Yes. So challenge there depends. So because it's very author-centric, each account is really designed for the author's name and to showcase the author. So we do have authors who share all their work from the one name, and the pen name shows up on the title, but there's only one author name for an account. So there are other authors who use, for a variety of reasons, sometimes because they want the privacy associated with their pen name, so they use an icon rather than a picture, or they just want the definition of defining their different genres, so they use a pen name for that, and they have the same photo or a different photo, but the pen name is in a different account. So if you have questions about that, just email info@bublish.com and we can answer that, or click the support and we can give you more details based on your needs, Kimberly. Ellen, I think I remember that I need a cover to go with my manuscript or sample. Yes, the cover can be a draft. You can, even with published books that are uploaded to Bublish, you can always change your cover. We put that in place about 2 years ago because there are a lot of authors who change their covers, right? They're learning and they get savvier and they want to add a new cover. So whether you've written it in the ebook creator or you've uploaded it, you can absolutely change your cover. It's just in the book info screen. So it's just right there. I'm going to take a minute here real fast because I want to make sure that everybody sees the author services portal. You just click that at the top of your dashboard. You'll go to a site that has something like this. So just go ahead. You'll be asked to fill out a form, and then someone will get in touch with you for a customized proposal. Real quickly, how to be successful is really work on those engaging author insights and a great excerpt. That combo is what makes people stick and start to be interested in your work. We've seen it over and over with data. Create and share book bubbles regularly with your target audience. Again, hashtags are great. People who are looking for your genre, or if you write nonfiction, that subject matter, learn those hashtags, put them in your book bubbles. When you create a book bubble and you're about to share it to Twitter, you'll see the pop-up and you can get the link, but you can change the language there. So that's really easy to do. So we auto-populate it, but you can change the language and speak right to your target audience, share those hashtags before you share to Twitter. Optimize your sales copy on your book's product page, right? So we can drive a lot of people to your product page, but you want to make sure that's optimized. So have a great synopsis, have a great book cover, get the price right. Make sure, you're speaking to that target audience, because we're going to drive them there and you'll convert at a higher rate if that product page is optimized.